Mr. Speaker, may I address the Congress?
Yes, Mr. Lipton from Virginia, you may have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Hancock. Distinguished members of this Congress, in the history of civilization, we are creating something brand new, something new that the world has never seen before. And this is the idea of a new government and a new way of life. And why this is important? Well, we're getting asked by constituents in our assemblies, is this a Christian government that we're creating? Well, let me just put this definition down so we're clear in what we're doing. A Christian state is a nation whose laws and constitution recognize a form of Christianity as the official state religion. No, we are not doing this. To understand what we're really doing, let's just take a quick trip back in history and recognize how and why we got to this place in history. We go back a century ago and recognize that we came from the old country. The old country had us live in a world of upper class and lower class. And that if we lived in this lower class world, guess what? We could never amount to anything but a lower class citizen for our whole life. It was at this time that we started to get a new philosophy come into our world from the likes of John Locke and Jean-Jacques Rousseau. And this new philosophy created what we now call the Age of Reason, the Age of Enlightenment. And I say, what is the basis of this new philosophy, this new understanding of life? And how do we create such a state that offers equality and justice for all? Well, remember the words of Rousseau, who said, the foundation of a new modern world with ideals of democracy were actually seated in the community of the Native Americans. In their teepees, in their wigwams, they created the foundation of a modern government. And what is this government based on? It's based on the freedom for all to become whatever you want to be in this world. And the name of this philosophy that we can identify is called Deism. Deism is the introduction of godliness into our world. And what is Deism? It's not a religion. Deism is a philosophy. And it's actually counter to most conventional religions in this philosophy. And what is that philosophy? The philosophy of Deism is indeed, yes, there is a creator that created this world in which we live. But the most important aspect that distinguishes Deism from religion is this. Deism does not recognize a supernatural deity. Well, Deism, based on the way the Native Americans have been living, is a philosophy that says we can learn to live in harmony with nature. And why is this important? Well, God created nature. I said, yeah, but what can we know about God when we study nature? I said, the answer is this: God created nature. And if we understand the laws of nature, then we will have some insight into the nature of our God. A world that has religious tolerance, so that we can welcome people from all over the world, whatever their beliefs are, to come in here. And then how will we run this country? Deistically? How will we run it? Through science and knowledge of the indigenous ways. And the more we study the indigenous ways, the more we study nature, the closer we will become to God. So I stand here today in front of you to talk about this Declaration of Independence. And I really want to assure you from the very beginning the most important point about this. It's actually described in the very first sentence of this wonderful Declaration of Independence. When, in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them. And as this declaration reads, we are here to understand the laws of nature and of nature's God. Simply, this is just what the Native Americans have been telling us. The laws of nature is Mother Earth. Nature's God, Father Sky. Yes, we have acquired a lot of understanding from our natives how to live in harmony on this planet. So the question, dear colleagues, is this: how can we take the wisdom of our Native American brothers and bring it into the world that we live in? And the answer is this: we are all deists here. And deism is basically a simple understanding that God created this world, no question about that. And we're all scientists here as deists, and the relevance of that is simple. If we understand the laws of nature, then by definition, we are given insight into the nature of our God. And therefore, it is important for us to recognize that as we move into this world, knowledge, and wisdom will carry us into that utopian world. And in that regard, I want to give a shout out to my bros. Hey, Tommy Jefferson, Ben Franklin, not only are you guys great politicians, but you are also great scientists. And Benny, watch out, don't fly that kite in a rainstorm. Pretty dangerous. This is our call to freedom. This document will be the greatest document of humanitarian rights since the Magna Carta. So as long as we follow the principles described in this declaration, we will make America great.